Hello everyone. Very good morning. Just a minute. We'll start the session. So for that, let me share my screen. Recording. Okay. In the last session, what we have done, so we discussed about how to load the data from AWS S3 bucket to our Snowflake tables. If your file is CSV, comma separated value, and then pipe delimited. What we have done in that particular thing, when you want to load that, first we created a integration object, storage integration object. After that, we given storage integration object details to AWS team. They are going to create, they'll update the policies based on external ID, user ARN. Then we will create a table structure, file format. After that, we are going to create a stage. Then we can able to load the data by using a copy command. This is a normal process, right? If your file is CSV file and then pipe delimited file, we can able to handle with this. Suppose if your file is JSON file or Parquet files, these are semi-structured files. When you are dealing with that, the JSON file and then Parquet file. So let's see the like a difference. What is this like a JSON files and then Parquet files? Let's try to understand. These are the semi-structured files when it is coming to that. Now let's observe this here. Here, if you observe the columnar storage, this one. So this Parquet file is a columnar storage, and remaining JSON and CSV, these are not a columnar storage. And when it is coming to, so for example here, let me, so compressible. So CSV and then so JSON and then Parquet all are compressible, right? And when it is coming to splittable, so are all splittable format. And human readable, if you observe the human readable, so this particular this Parquet you cannot able to read. We cannot able to read this Parquet file. So we can able to read this particular JSON file, and then we can able to read this particular CSV file, but we cannot able to read this particular the Parquet file. Now, so next, let's coming to nestable. So this is CSV. When you observe, we can able to read the data. We can able to read it properly when it is coming to CSV. But when it is coming to JSON and then Parquet files, these are nestable format. So when it is coming to Parquet and then JSON, it's a complex data structure. We cannot able to understand properly. This is the semi-structured data file format. Let's see how it looks like. Let's say, for example, the Parquet file how and then JSON how it looks like is. Let me come to next example. Now observe this one. Here, if you observe the column names, what it will do is first column, first row, second column, first row, third column, first row. First, it will complete all the columns from the 1 to n. If you have 20 columns, all the 20 columns it will display, and then what are the values for that it will display. Second, when it is coming to the second row, again it will give it in you can consider that in a single column it will like write all the data, not like multiple columns. Now if you observe this second one, so second column 1 and then row 2, column 2, row 2, column 3, row 3. Like how many columns we have, all this it will be available here. Okay, now let me show you how it looks like. Example practically. Observe this file format, how it looks like. JSON example. See this one. These are the that rows, and then when you observe, this is a column name. Party ID is the column name. This is the row 1. This is column 2, and then row 1. Column 3, row 1. How many columns we have? Totally 6 columns. Once all the columns and then row 1 details is completed, next again when it is coming to next one, next column, and then row 2. So column 2, row 2, column 3, row 2. It will complete for each and every row. How many rows we have, those many rows. So it is going to create in the form of nested formats. Nested format, it will give this particular data. What will happen is this is semi-structured. At least we can able to read something from this particular. This is the JSON file format. This is JSON file format. But when it is coming to, let's say, Parquet file format, let me show you. So when it is coming to Parquet, this is a Parquet. You cannot able to read the Parquet files. Observe this one. This is the Parquet data. When you try to open, you cannot able to read anything from the Parquet files. It is not possible to read. See this one. So we cannot. It is not in a proper format. You cannot able to read. So this is like structured form and semi-structured and not human readable. But when it is coming to the JSON, we can able to read, and then that is also it's a semi-structured data. When we are dealing with these kind of things, what Snowflake will do is Snowflake is going to consider these file formats as a variant data type. Variant data type. By default, when you load these files into the stage area, by default, it is going to consider as a variant data type. When you want to load it into the structured formats, now we need to convert into target respective data type. We need to convert these data types, data types into target respective data types. So that is the one thing what we need to handle. We need to take care when we are loading JSON and then Parquet files data. Now let's see how we are going to implement it. If you observe these files in our AWS console, let me log into that. Sorry. Let's come to AWS console. Let's log in. Okay. If you observe, this is AM. Let's come to S3 bucket. To the bucket. So we have JSON and Parquet. If you observe the Parquet JSON file, if you want to read, we have one file here. Click on that and then action, query with S3 select. It will be like document. It is not in the lines. It's kind of, and then run SQL query. Now observe this, how it looks like, how it is stored. This is, it is going to store, this is the, how it looks like in a AWS location. The same thing when you try to load in, so it will consider as a variant data type. Now we need to convert this variant data type into respective data types. Observe this one. Each one more thing here, when you are working with this like type of things, these are case sensitive here. Columns are case sensitive. When you observe this one, right? So you have space before that starting the column name. After that column name is completed, again we have a space. Here we have a space, and then we have percentage after that space. We have percentage after that space, right? Percentage after that space. So if you observe each and every column, so we have like these particular column names, and then after that, so we have a values, right? Column names and then values, what it is available. Now let's come to this. So let's say for example, so here when you are trying to implement this, these are these JSON files, right? How it looks like. Now if I come and then if you try to read these Parquet files, let's come back to S3. Otherwise, come to the specific folder, Parquet file. Observe this one. If I try to read the file, we have two files here. Click on one file, and then I am trying to read this particular Parquet file. When I try to read this, see this one. output settings, output. So we need to convert that into any CSV or JSON, then only I can read. Otherwise, if I try directly, run SQL query directly, see this one, the failed. What it is taking? Output serialization is required. It means telling that we cannot able to read directly the Parquet files. Now let's come to, so we'll see that in a CSV format. So how you want to see that? You can select any one of the format here, CSV or JSON, and then let's come here and then see the data. So, and then again run, observe this one. You can able to see that information in a comma separate delimiter, right? These are the data. Okay, how you can able to see, but you cannot able to see the data directly from the Pocket files. It's a, you cannot readable. It's not in a readable format. Now, these two semi-structured files we wanted to load. So what we have done in the last session, already we created integration object, storage integration object. When you created this particular storage integration object, what we have done, we created this only for CSV folder. But now, so when you are working with this, so we need to create for JSON and Parquet files also. If you want to like work with this, so our Snowflake should have access to these folders also. Then only we can able to get the data from this particular JSON bucket, and then sorry, JSON folder and then Parquet folder. Then we can able to read the data. Otherwise it is not possible, right? To implement that, so what we will do is, let's observe this. So first let's come to, we will need to create a integration object again with this particular folder's location. I will give ent all for all the locations. CSV, one is for CSV, another one, same details we will take. Another one is for JSON, right? Another one is for Parquet. So this is for JSON, and then another one is for the Parquet. Let me check the spelling, how it looks like. Snowflake Parquet, right? The Snowflake AWS 23, that is the bucket name, same thing, right? So Parquet and then JSON. Now what we are trying to give, we are trying to create integration object for all these three folders, for all the three folders. Let's create it. And now we have allowed location for all these three folders. Now you can able to use only this integration object for every folder. No need to create every time. So the separately for each and everything. Once it is created, what you need to do? You need to describe integration name. When you come to this, when we are describing what we are going to get, we will get external ID and then user ARN details, right? Now let's come to this. This is a location where we have like all the locations access, and then this is like user ARN details. Let me come to this one, user ARN details. This is the user ARN details which we have created here, user ARN details, and then external ID, right? Need external ID. This is the user ARN. Let's pick the external ID details here. This is the external ID details, what we are having. These two details, what we are going to give, we will give it to AWS team, right? To update the policy details, right? To do that, what exactly here? Come to the IAM, Identity and Access Management. click on the role, come to the role, click on the trusted relationships, and we need to edit. When it is coming to the edit, so here, let's come here. This one is user ARN details. Here, this is user ARN details. And then external ID. External ID is this one. Let's pick these details. This we will give it to AWS team. They are going to take care of this. But here we are doing everything. Let's come here, pick these details exactly and update it here. Update policy. The policy is been updated. Now once we have the access, then we can able to create like the stage, and then we can able to create a file format, right? So now let's come to this. So what we need to do for this, to load the Pocket files here, come to that. First we need to create a structure. Whatever the file it is available there in a Pocket files, so we have two files. If you want to load all the two files, and then with the, we need to know which file has been loaded, then what we will do, so we can create file name and then file row number to understand, right? So let's create a table structure here. So with this particular column names, you can able to see that, refresh it here, and the Pocket files, Pocket, right? The structure is created. Now, so already we created an integration object. Then what is the next step? So we have to create the file format of this particular Pocket file. Let's create a file format. Once you created one file format, you can use the same file format. No need to create like a same file format for every Pocket file. Once it is created, you can use the file format name, right? We are creating file format. Done. After that, we are going to create a stage, right? Now let's create a stage here. So why we are creating stage? So we need to understand which stage, so which particular file we wanted to load. In integration object, we have allowed location for everything. But now, so what we need to understand is, let's come here. Sorry. So we will create the stage here. So this, going to create stage, create a replace stage, and then stage name, and then, so which, what is the folder here, which folder we required access for this particular Parquet. Let's pick this one. Then only the Parquet files we wanted to load it here. Same, the Parquet file URL we are giving. So this is for the Parquet stage, external stage. And then what is the integration object? Integration object is all we have created. And then this is the Parquet file format. Now we have created, right? Now let's run this one. When you are running this, so this, it's created, right? So we created the Parquet stage. Now if you observe list at the rate the stage name, you will have access to both the files. Now both the files is available here. Now the files is available, right? You can able to see that. When you want to load it from the stage, what is the command we will use? Copy into table, right? Copy into. So what is the table name here, which we have created? The table name is here. This is the table name. Copy into the table name, table from. So we will use stage. This is the process, right? From stage, copy into the table from the stage. So when you are using that, already stage the files is available, right? Let's try to load this. Both are the same structured files. If I try to load, observe. So what is the error we are going to get it here? See this one, what it is telling. Parquet file format can produce so one and only one column of type variant or object or array. See this one, object or array. The file format which it is having, so this is a variant data type, one and only one column. But if you are trying to load, use CSV format if you want to load more than one column. More than one column. It is very like when you observe the data, how it looks like. So how it looks like. So if you want to see that, so select select $1. $1 means column one from the stage. Now observe this how it looks like. It's a semi-structured format. So $1 from stage. Directly we can see the values from the stage area. How it looks like in the stage. When it is loaded in the stage, observe this one. This is so only one column. Only one column. This is a variant data type. See this one, this is only one column and then multiple rows here. So it has divided like this, like so columns. But so we want to load this, so this particular thing into so this particular different columns, all other. So here this is one column and then this is another column, this is another column, right? So to load this we need to convert this variant data type, we need to convert into respective data types. The workaround will be, so what we need to understand is each and every column we need to understand how many columns we have and then what will be the respective data types we need to convert. This is the manual work what we need to do. So each and every column we have to convert, then only so you can able to load this the semi-structured data into the table. You have to convert it. Now to conversion, what we will do is in a copy command, instead of executing the copy into that directly into the table, now observe this one. So each and every column, how many columns we have here, those many columns. So we are going to convert it in this way. Now see this one, let stage. Now what is the table? The healthcare table and copy into the table from stage. From the stage, when we are using that stage, observe this, select $1. All are call in a column one only, right? $1. This particular column name convert into varchar data type. So this is column one. Again, it's in a $1 only. All the columns in available in the same place. Again, convert into this particular data type. Again, this one convert into another data type. Convert into another data type, right? Every column, so we are requesting converting into respective data type. Here one thing, if you observe, the columns are case sensitive, right? So why it is displaying like this is because of how the column looks like in the structure. The same way we need to go, it's a case sensitive. Let's see that when we are working with JSON files we will understand that. So what we are doing basically, we are converting each and every column into respective data types and then we are trying to load. When you try to load in this way, then it is going to load the data. See this one, both the files it has been loaded. You can able to see the both the files data, including the two files. This is in a Pocket Files data. We can able to load that into our Snowflake tables, right? We can able to see that the same way. So we can work with a JSON file format also. JSON also the same thing, there is no difference, but only the thing is when we are working with a JSON file, so we need to convert that so into the file format. We need to create it as a JSON. We have to create it as a JSON. That's it. Remaining everything will be the same. Now let's create for like JSON structure also, and then we will see that how to implement it. So come to this and then let's create it. So no need to create. Again, the storage integration object already it is available here. The same storage integration object, we can make use of that. Then next, let's come to another thing. file format. Observe this one. Create or replace file format and the format name and then type equal to JSON. Now let's come here and create or replace file format and then format name JSON format, type equal to JSON. We are creating a JSON file format. This is fine. Now what is the next step? So we will create a stage. We are going to create a stage. To create a stage, so we need the JSON file location where our JSON files is available. For that, we are going to implement JSON file location. It's not required. int integration object is int all, then file format is JSON, and then so let's come to the path, JSON path. So where our files is available, let's pick it from here. This is the folder where the files is available. Copy, come here, then this is the folder S3. This is the bucket name and then JSON folder. Now we are going to place this particular JSON file into this particular stage area. Now let's create a stage here. We can able to see the files. Now the stage is created. Let's observe the files here. List, what we will do, list sorry, at the rate, this is our stage, this is our external stage. Now observe this, file is available. Now let's see that file is available. Okay, we can able to see the file. Now when the file is available, what we will do, copy into, right, copy into the table from the stage. So what is the table name? Healthcare, the JSON. So we created it as a healthcare JSON table name. This is the table. Come here, copy into table, copy into table from stage. This is our stage, right? When you are implementing this, observe this, whether it is going to work it or not. So this is also, what is this? Variant data type, right? It is not allowing to load. Then if you want to load it, then what you have to do, again you need to convert. Now if you observe the data here, select $1 from the stage. This is the stage, right? How it looks like here, the same way we need to convert these data types. We have to use the same, like it's a case sensitive, column names are case sensitive. Now observe this one. When I click on this, observe this, we have a space here, right? We have a space here, and then again we have a space here, and then here we have a percentage. After that we have a space, right? The here again we have a percentage and then space. How the column looks like, the same way. So whenever it is in a capital letters, we have to do it in a same way. Whenever it is in like any other special characters, we have to give it in a same format. Then only the file will be converted and then it will be loaded. Otherwise, so if you give like if it is not case sensitive, it will skip that files and then it will not load that particular data. So what we have to do, we need to convert this. To for the conversion, the copy into the table from the stage. Now let's observe this particular thing, what we need to implement. Let's come to this one. Copy into table from, this is a stage, and we are going to load it into this particular table. And then every column when you are converting, Observe this, how it looks like here. Every column when we are converting, see this, how it is showing there, right? So under I underscore ID, and then space, and then after that column name, percentage space after that column name. The same way we are implementing. If the data type is integer, we are converting into the target data type, respective target data types we are converting here. Each and every column, so what we are doing, we are converting into respective data types, and then so we are loading it here. So then if you convert and then if you load, now it has been loaded. So how many like rows we have? Around 30,000 rows we have there in that particular so JSON file. All the things has been loaded into JSON table, JSON. So this particular data has been loaded, right? So what is the additional things we have done here? Only the variant data type conversion, remaining all the process is same. But one challenge here, if you observe, okay, what we are doing, whatever the files is available in our S3 bucket, it can be in a CSV folder, or it can be in a JSON folder, or if it is in Parquet folder, wherever it may be. So JSON, Parquet, and then CSV. So we are trying to load this into our Snowflake tables, right? When you know the file is available in these folders, file is available in this folder, then only so we can able to so load, we can able to like use this, and then we can able to perform this implementation. All right, we can able to load the data. So when you know, we can able to convert this. So let's say, so we can able to process this by using a copy command, right? But so you never know when the file will come into this particular location. What you need to do, this is from the AWS side, right? You need to keep on watching, or you need to keep on asking the AWS team whether the file is available in the location or not, right? It means the requirement is when we have a file in our particular any specific folder, automatically this file has to be loaded into our Snowflake tables. So without so any, let's say without any manual implementation, automatically it has to be loaded, right? So that is so nothing but so auto ingestion process, we used to call that as a auto ingestion process, right? So now, so to implement that, so we have, these are the parameters we have to consider. It's almost similar what we are doing, but only the thing is, your, these are the prerequisites. Your bucket should be unique. Your bucket should be unique, and your role should be unique. What is the reason behind that? We will discuss in the coming class. So next session, bucket should be unique, role should be unique, your file format should be unique, and then table structure, then your integration object, right? All these things has to be unique. Then only we can able to process it, because when you are creating auto ingestion process, or we will call it as a snowpipe implementation, auto ingestion process, automatically whenever the file available in the bucket, it has to load without any implementation of like a copy command. What we have done here, we have executed manually, right? Whenever the file is available, what we have done, we executed it manually here. So by using a copy command, after that we created a stage. Once everything is set up, so when the file is available, what you need to do, you have to execute this, right? Any copy command, we need to implement this, but we don't want to run this manually. Then what is the option is snowpipe implementation. So that is auto ingestion. We used to call it as an auto ingestion process. So for that, the prerequisites will be, so we have the unique bucket name for every file format, and then so unique so file name, so for same thing, table structure, and then so integration object, all these things should be unique, then only we can able to process it. There is a reason behind that, because when you are creating a service, some kind of notification service is required. That is, we can able to do it for the bucket level only. Bucket level only. When you are working in a project, so separate buckets here just for the practice purpose. What you are doing, all the buckets in a within one bucket, I am creating all the folders, all the CSV, and then like a finder JSON and then Parquet. But when you are working with the in so project, we will have separate buckets for the separate file formats. So that is the best practices we will follow, because when you are creating auto ingestion, the bucket should be unique, then only it will work. Okay, so that is a process. We will see that in the next session how to implement it. Let's come to the questions here. Is it okay, Shekhar? I can see if a JSON Parquet file has error, so how to track error while working on a project? Yes. So when you have a error, so once it is loaded during the error, so we can use the validation mode equal to return errors, right? We can use that. Another thing is, so once it is loaded, so what all the files it has been loaded, then we can able to implement. So select star from validate option, the same process we can able to implement it. So those two options we can use. Is it mandatory to load the data into the new table for conversion every time into new table? Yeah, Shivaram, here what we are doing is we are not loading into like a new table. So for the conversion, for example, yeah, yes, Srikanth, we are going to see that in the coming classes. I will show it to you how to implement it. The Python scripting. So how to interact with the Snowflake. We will cover that. So coming to this question. So your question is it mandatory to load the data into new table? So for the conversion every time. Okay. So it's not mandatory every time. For example, for this is first time. So when we are creating the JSON files format, first time we have loading, right? Once it is loaded, so next time if you have the same file, already if the structure is available, no need to create every time. You can load it into the same table. Once we created a table structure, then again and again we can load it into the same table. It's not mandatory to create every time.
But if we have different structures, I mean different table.
Yeah, different tables, then definitely we need to create a table structure. Otherwise, it is not possible.
It should take any taking any storage. So just we are loading it the data into table, right?
Correct.
Copy into some table and from so and so, right? So it should take any space.
Yeah, it will occupy the storage location.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dinesh.
Yes, Shekhar.
Yeah, coming to my question, I didn't hear properly for that. How to track the error while this one if a JSON we're working on a JSON file or a Python file.
So we have implemented once it is loaded based on the query ID. What you can do is select star from validate and then job ID or query ID. We can use it. Based on that, we can able to get that errors. What are the errors? So it has skipped. And then what are the errors we have? So in that particular load option.
This is what something we can explicitly know that errors and all that. While loading, we can track those in a file, put it in a file and all that. This one.
No. While loading, it is not possible. Once it is loaded, by using on error equal to continue, then only we can able to implement it.
Okay, and you are changing that variant data type change, no? Is there implemented some coding? Is there some columns or there?
Correct.
10 columns. So if some space is missing in that, suppose there are 10,000 rows, 10,000 columns, you are loading that one. Some space is missing. You can't check every column, right? What is the
that is very difficult. Yeah, in that situation.
So what will we do in that?
Then we have to like cross check so whether that column has been loaded the data or not. What will happen is if there's something is missing in that particular column, that complete data it will be skipped. It will not load for that particular column.
Okay, if a particular column has an issue with that,
it will not load any.
Whole data will not be loaded.
Correct. Exactly.
So, Dinesh, I have one question. So also Shekhar asking about that same thing. So in real time, they are providing that script, or we need to create a manually that script.
The conversion, right?
Yeah, conversion script.
Conversion, we need to do it manually.
For 1,000 column.
Yeah, if it is there, so we have to do it. We don't have other option when we are converting.
Is there any way to do dynamic through the Python code?
Dynamically, that is possible. So by using any experts is there in a team, so by like a Python, so then they can able to do that. It has to read it from the file and then it has to convert it. That is possible.
So then Python is necessary for these things.
If it is required, so in this particular situation, then we can able to also implement it in Python scripting.
Do you have this example for through the Python?
Through Python, I will check it once. So I don't have so anything handy currently. I will check and then, so if I get it, so okay, definitely I will share it to everyone.
Yeah, and one more thing, when I create a AWS account, so in that time they are asking the address. So I have put down the address, but it will not accepted. I don't know why it will happen.
Have you given it with the pin code?
Yeah, I have provided the pin code as well.
It has to accept. And this one, do you have any other account previously with the same email ID?
No.
Or the same details?
No.
Or is it a new one?
Yes.
What was the error it is showing? Can you send me the screenshot? I will have a look.
Actually, it will not accept it. Okay, I'll send the screenshot as well. But the when I click the submit now, so there is showing error on address.
Error on address.
Yeah.
Strange. I'm not sure. We'll see that. I will check that one once.
And one more thing, Dinesh, actually, we have some confusion in the stream area. I mean, it's a stream session. Because, we have tried to do the stream through the CDC means
Implementation, CDC. Yeah. Don't worry about that. Again, we have another session when we are trying to implement a slowly changing dimension, right? Again, we are going to cover the same stream and then task implementation here. When you are working end to end, we will discuss again one more time. Okay. Yeah.
Dinesh?
Yes, Shekhar.
Can we have a separate session on this JSON and Parquet file? What is briefing of more details on this one? Because we are new to those JSON and Parquet file, right? So when we are working, it is okay. We are loading the data and all that. This one. So can we have a brief conversation on this? What is the JSON file? What is Parquet file?
Okay, I'm also not aware of exactly what how these the file structures will work. Okay, I will check once.
Yeah.
Just so we are going to, what will happen is whatever the file we will get it, so just we are going to load it into our tables. So that's the thing. Okay, so I will check once. Okay, so if I
So
get
in the
more
real time, we
information
need to
on this.
write the coding, right?
No, the JSON and Pocket already files will come to us. No need to write the
yeah.
complete thing. Yeah.
But I thought that for the session you are copying the file and format and all that coding.
No. So this one, so while converting, we need to do that. Just only one thing is when you are converting, you need to implement this. That's it. But the JSON file which is already available. So what we have is already we have the files here, right? The same files we are trying to load. If you observe it here also, the files already it is available here. These files, right? We didn't created this one. Already the available files we have loaded. Same thing. So for the JSON and then Parquet also. The Parquet file also already which is available here. So we have trying to load it into our tables. it's like some internal tools and then some Kafka like implementation tools. So it will have in the project, they will convert that into the specific required format and they will send it to us. Depends. If I get a chance, so we will see that. So how to like work with a JSON and then how to work with a Pocket, how to create it. If possible, we will see that one also. Okay, yes. So please practice once, and then so in the next session, so we will come to like how to work with a auto ingestion process or Snowpipe implementation. We'll get more understanding how exactly the things will work in a project. Okay, yes. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Dinesh.